Last week, a shop charged someone $300 to fix a check engine light. You know what the technician did? Plugged in a scanner, pressed clear, and handed over an invoice. 30 seconds. $300. You can do the same thing yourself. For free, right now. Here's the thing. Most check engine lights, rough idles, sluggish throttles, jerky transmissions, nothing is actually broken. Your ECU just got confused and forgot its settings. Shops know this, and they're counting on you not knowing it. Today, 5 methods mechanics use to reset your car completely for free. But here's the one thing I need you to stay for. Method 3. It's a 30-second fix with your gas pedal that recovers up to 12% of your fuel economy after a battery change. No tools, no cost. Most people never find out about it because it kills shop's business instantly. 5 methods, $0. Let's go. Method 1. Battery disconnect done right. This is the most well-known reset method, and 90% of people do it wrong. They pop the hood, pull the negative terminal, wait 5 minutes, reconnect, and wonder why the check engine light is still on. Why is the idle still rough? Why did nothing change? It's not because the method doesn't work, it's because 5 minutes isn't enough, and they skipped one critical step. Here's what's actually happening inside your car when you disconnect the battery. Your ECU isn't the only thing holding data. There are capacitors scattered throughout the electrical system, tiny power reserves built into sensors, safety modules, and control units. 5 minutes isn't long enough to drain them. Old data survives. Error codes survive. The ECU reconnects and picks up exactly where it left off. Nothing resets, nothing clears. You just wasted your time. Here's the correct procedure, and this one actually works. First, negative terminal off, then positive, always in that order. Removing positive first risks a short circuit if your wrench touches any grounded metal in the engine bay. Negative first, every time. You'll need a 10mm wrench, that's it. Second, once both terminals are disconnected, press and hold the brake pedal for 30 seconds. This sounds strange, but it forces the remaining electricity out of those capacitors through the brake light circuit. Some mechanics tap the horn a few times instead. Either works. The goal is the same: actively drain what's left in the system instead of just waiting for it to disappear on its own. Third, wait 15 minutes. Not 5? 15? Set a timer. Go make a coffee. Let the system fully discharge. Fourth, reconnect positive first, then negative. Tighten both terminals properly. Loose terminals cause intermittent errors that make you think the reset didn't work when it's just poor contact. Start the car. Let it idle for 2 to 3 minutes without touching the throttle. The ECU is writing new baseline values. Idle might hunt slightly for the first minute. That's normal. By minute 2, it should smooth out completely. One warning. This method wipes personal settings. Clock resets, radio loses presets, memory seats go blank. Small price for a completely clean ECU, and a lot cheaper than a $300 diagnostic fee for the same result. Method 2. Key cycling reset. This one is for older cars, especially anything built before 2005, and it feels ridiculous the first time you do it. 3 key turns, 10 seconds, no tools. But I've watched it fix transmission problems that owners were ready to spend $2,000 repairing. So, hear me out. After a battery replacement or any electrical work, your ECU loses its learned data. Shift points, throttle position, fuel trim calibrations, all gone. The car has to relearn everything from scratch. And on older vehicles, this relearning process can take days of normal driving. During that time, the transmission shifts jerkily, the throttle feels sluggish, idle, is rough. Owners panic. They think something broke during the battery replacement. Nothing broke. The computer just forgot. The key cycling sequence shortcuts trigger the relearning process and trigger the ECU to reinitialize its core settings immediately. Here's the procedure. Sit in the driver's seat, insert the key, turn it to the on position, dashboard lights on, engine not started, hold it there for 3 seconds, turn it back to off. Do this 3 times in a row, completing all 3 cycles within 10 seconds. On the third cycle, leave the key in the on position for 5 seconds before turning off. Then wait 30 seconds and start the engine normally. That sequence sends a specific signal pattern the ECU is programmed to recognize as a manual reinitialized command. Fuel pump relay resets. Electronic throttle data refreshes. Automatic transmission shift logic recalibrates. All in 10 seconds. I watched this fix a Ford Escape that was shifting so roughly the owner was convinced the transmission was finished. 3 key cycles, 1 lap around the block, smooth as new. The transmission relearned its shift points within 2 miles of driving. Now, this works best on Ford, Chrysler, and Nissan vehicles from that era. Post-2010 cars change their ECU algorithms, and this sequence has less effect. But if you're driving something with some years on it, try this before anything else. 10 seconds, 0 cost, nothing to lose. Method 3. Throttle pedal reset. This is the one I teased in the intro, and it might be the most valuable method in this entire video. Not because it's complicated, it's actually the simplest one here, but because skipping it after a battery change is silently costing you money every single time you fill up. Here's what happens. Modern cars don't use a physical cable connecting your gas pedal to the throttle body anymore. It's all electronic, drive-by-wire. Your pedal sends a signal, the ECU reads it, the throttle valve opens. And the ECU learns your specific pedal, the exact position of 0% and 100% over thousands of miles of driving. When the battery gets disconnected, that learned data disappears. The ECU wakes up with no reference points. It doesn't know where idle is, doesn't know where full throttle is. So it guesses. And while it's guessing, the throttle response feels sluggish, idle hunts up and down, and the engine burns more fuel trying to compensate for positions it isn't sure about. Real-world impact, studies on drive-by-wire systems show that an uncalibrated throttle after a battery change wastes 10 to 12% more fuel in city driving. On a car averaging 30 miles per gallon, that's losing 3 to 4 miles per gallon just because nobody told you to do this 30-second procedure. Here's exactly how to do it. Key in the ignition, turn to the on position, dashboard lights on, engine not started. Wait 3 seconds. Now slowly press the gas pedal all the way to the floor. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Slowly release it back to rest. Wait 5 seconds. Repeat that full press and release 2 more times. Turn the key off. Wait 10 seconds. Start the engine normally. That sequence teaches the ECU 2 things. Where the pedal sits at complete rest, 0%, and where it sits fully floored, 100%. With those 2 reference points locked in, every position in between calibrates automatically. Let the car idle for 2 minutes after starting. Don't touch the throttle. The ECU is writing the new calibration into memory. After 2 minutes, take it for a gentle 10-minute drive. Throttle response will feel noticeably sharper. Fuel economy returns within 1 full tank. One variation worth knowing. Nissan vehicles need the key held in the on position for 10 full seconds before you start the pedal sequence. Toyota and Honda work with the standard procedure. Check your specific model if you're unsure. But the core process is identical across every drive-by-wire vehicle made in the last 20 years. No tools, no cost, 30 seconds. Do this every single time you disconnect the battery, and you'll never lose fuel economy from a battery change again. Method 4. Soft ECU Drain. Everything up to this point handles normal resets, rough idle after a battery change, sluggish throttle after electrical work. Check the engine light from a confused sensor. Those methods cover 90% of situations. But sometimes you get a stubborn error. Check engine light keeps coming back. Code clears with the scanner, returns after 20 miles. Battery disconnect doesn't touch it, key cycling does nothing. The error is baked into the system so deep that standard resets can't reach it. That's when you use this. Think of your car like a laptop that's completely frozen. Closing the lid doesn't fix it. Shutting it down doesn't fix it. You hold the power button for 10 seconds. Full force shutdown. Synth. And it boots clean. That's exactly what the soft ECU drain does to your car. Here's the procedure. Disconnect both battery terminals, negative first, then positive. Set them aside so they can't accidentally touch the battery posts. Now grab a standard set of jumper cables. Connect the red clamp to the positive battery cable, the cable that was connected to the battery, not the battery itself. Connect the black clamp to the negative cable. You've just created a closed loop between the two disconnected cables. No battery involved, no power source, no risk of sparks. What this does: any trapped electricity still sitting in capacitors and backup modules throughout the car now has a complete circuit to discharge through. Instead of slowly bleeding out over 15 minutes like the standard battery disconnect, it drains completely in 5 to 7 minutes. Every module, every sensor, every control unit, full zero. While you wait, press the brake pedal 3 or 4 times. Turn the headlights on for 10 seconds, then off. This accelerates the discharge through multiple circuits simultaneously. After 7 minutes, remove the jumper cables. Reconnect the battery, positive first, then negative. Tighten both terminals securely. Start the car. The difference you'll feel immediately. Throttle response is sharper. Idle settles faster. Transmission shifts feel cleaner because the transmission control module relearned from a true zero state instead of a partial reset. One absolute rule: never clamp those jumper cables together while the battery is still connected. Battery connected means live current. Live current through a direct short means sparks, potential battery damage, possible injury. Both terminals are off first, always. This method wipes everything: clock, radio, seat memory, all adaptive settings. But for a ghost error that won't die, this is the only free option that goes deep enough to kill it completely. Method 5. OBD2 Scanner Reset. Every method so far costs $0. This one costs $15. And after that, it replaces every diagnostic fee you'll ever pay for the rest of the time you own that car. Here's the reality: when a shop charges you $200 to $300 for a diagnostic, they're plugging in a scanner, reading the code, pressing clear, and charging you for the equipment they bought years ago. A basic OBD2 scanner does the same thing. $15, Amazon, 2-day shipping. Every car built after 1996 has an OBD2 port. It's under your steering column, driver's side, usually within 12 inches of your left knee. Plug the scanner in, turn the key to the on position without starting the engine. Scanner powers up, reads the ECU, shows you every active code in plain language. Code P0171, system running lean. P0456, evap leak, usually just a loose fuel cap. P0300, random misfire. Every code tells you exactly what the ECU flagged and where to look. No guessing, no paying someone to guess for you. Hit clear codes, check engine light off. Done. One thing to know: clearing codes doesn't fix the underlying problem, it just resets the warning. If the real issue still exists, the light returns within 50 miles. That's your signal that something needs actual attention. But for a confused ECU throwing ghost codes after a battery change or sensor replacement, one press clears it permanently. The advantage over battery disconnect: you keep all your personal settings. The clock stays set. Radio keeps presets. Adaptive systems stay calibrated. Clean reset without wiping anything. $15, yours forever. Every future check engine light is handled in your driveway before you ever consider calling a shop. 5 methods, $0 for 4 of them, and $15 for the last one, forever. Your car has a built-in reset system, and nobody told you about it, because informed drivers don't pay $300 diagnostic fees. Which method are you trying first? Drop your car model and the issue you're dealing with in the comments. I'll tell you exactly which reset to run.